We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5. You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your number one resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Mr. Andre Ewell in the house.
Hey.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. One, thank you for having me, making me all smiles and gigglies on my side.
You deserve it. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're doing a lot of great things, and what I want to touch on is what's happening during this time in quarantine. What have you been up to in addition to the training, the videos that you're posting on Instagram? Like, you're going hard.
Well, one, that I am definitely going hard, but I'm going hard on being a father first, you know. I have a beautiful son named June, just born 3 months ago. Lily turned 3 months about 2 days ago, so it's automatically excited about that, and that ends up opening up my other side where obviously we have to eat. So, and the money that comes in is me working and automatically fighting. So it's me going hard, also sharing techniques for the world for people to honestly watch and, you know, showcase and basically be something like me or better. And that's the goal for everybody, is to aim to be better than the person that you see, and that's me. Bam.
Yeah, it's I see it. The passion's there. The photos. He's adorable, man. He's totally adorable.
Thank you. He's all smiles. I promise you, it's like every day that I end up looking at him, it's like, to be honest, he's like automatically ready for any type of phone camera. Like, he just knows the camera's on and he's like there giggling and ready for action, you know?
He's got your eyes. You know that.
And that I do know. People need to understand we got the sapphire eyes. I know that people are like, oh, it's brown. No, we got this like red, pure Doberman eyes. I call them like the red Doberman, you know. It's like anybody that knows what a red Doberman looks like that's the eyes that we have. And, you know, we share that uniqueness.
But even the shape of them are the same as yours. Yeah,
that straight twins. It was funny because when he popped out, everybody was like, well, no one can end up arguing to say that ain't his kid, you know. And so it comes out like it's like one of those like what do you call it, like a bad flip coin, like, hey, it's you, but just in case you tried to argue the case, just know that it's you. It's like, if you're on Murray, we know you're the daddy, like, hands down. So there you go. Yeah, you're the daddy. Yeah, you're right.
The photo you posted the other day where he's smiling, he's sitting on a sofa, I love those two photos, and I'm going to tell you, by his hairline and the style of his hair, he looks like a future attorney.
See, look, and I'm glad that you end up saying that, because like I'm like trying to figure it out, and it's like all I'm seeing is like it might not even be fighting that like he's gonna like take up. Like, granted, like he'll probably know it everything just by just being around me, but I'm like, yeah, it's like you're gonna be like you said, one attorney, doctor, dentist, president. You know, president. And funny thing is, I promise you, I was singing the president's song last night with him. So you're about to be, you know, my little president, little baby president. Like, no, 100% singing the song. Like, but he definitely ends up like, you know, that's my hope right there. That's my son's. That's hope in my life right there. So he ends up bringing nothing but hope. Things can end up changing and things can end up becoming better. Just period. You know.
I want to play this, and I don't know if you were talking, but there's this video that was posted 3 days ago, and there's something about his spirit and energy that nothing gets by him. He is really aware. This is my interpretation. He's really aware of his surroundings, but he's also a visual boy.
Yeah, and that's something I can like 100% alert on, just in things in general. And that's like, you can tell like a trait that he's obviously picking up from. I'll go ahead and say he's picking that one up from his mother, you know, because she's very alert, and for him, you know, he stays alert. Just eyes open, knows like the vibe that's here around, knows what he's around, and he knows when to smile and when not to smile, you know. But he's very joyful baby. Yeah.
Children are intuitive. They're the most purest intuitive beings in this world that have not been touched by the outside elements, and they're just smarter.
Yeah. And I 100% agree, you know, because obviously this is where it kicks in as being a good parent and a bad parent type thing, or people end up putting people in categories. The only thing you can do is just prepare them for the world, and that's what I'm like prepared to do.
Well, with you getting set, with being a dedicated dad, devoted dad, what is happening right now in addition to the training? What do we have to look forward to? What do the fans have to look forward to? And you are people's choice. So when it comes down to it, what does the management team, promotions team have for the rest of 2020? Or do we need to wait like everyone else is telling us, you got to wait to 2021?
See, two things. First, I love that, the people's choice. I just love the sound of that. You know, like it's like my other alter ego that's kicking in, where Dwayne Johnson pops out, and that's AKA The Rock. That's me when my shirt's off. I'm like Dwayne out here right now. So I feel like you're talking to Dwayne at the moment. Okay, so when it comes into these situations, what's honestly about to happen, the management group is trying to get me back in basically next month of August, beginning of September. That's the goal. That is something that I'm trying to push back, because this delay and me being out for so long, and just, you know, I feel missed, and I know I'm missing the mess out of the cage, and just putting on a show for the people just in general. And like I stated, I'm like aiming to be the people's champ, and that's just automatically how it is. And so however the case is, whoever they end up placing on my my little platform for me for my comeback, then that's the fight that I'm honestly taking. And granted that it might be a ranked person, 'cause I know the last person that they gave me was ranked number 12. It was Stanman. If I'm butchering his name, I apologize, but that would have been like a pretty awesome fight for me, you know. Mm-hmm. But granted, whoever they end up giving me, I'm 100% up for it, because I want to put on a show. And then just know that the people that I'm calling out is all people from 170. You know, you got Mike Perry. Granted that I know he's like up in that, you know, he's up in therapy and type things. So I might have to take a visit just to call him out. And, you know, and then we got, you know, you got George Masvidal, Gilbert Burns, and obviously the champ, Usman. I'm going for big things right now. I want to fight big people. I want to fight, you know, just in general of the best. So let's do that.
You're ready. You're totally
I'm
ready.
100% ready, especially like when I end up tucking in my shirt. People don't get this. I am Daniel Cormier. That personality kicks in. And right now, I just tucked my shirt in. So that's what happened. I'm Daniel Cormier, DC. You feel me? Wrestling on stage, which I just got done showing last week. My wrestling is on par, and I'm ready to honestly wrestle big people. Let's go. You know?
I'm feeling the rumble right over. I'm feeling the rumble, and you're totally on the opposite side of the world right now. Come on.
Easy. And see, that's what I'm trying to end up sending. I'm trying to send that energy to the world where you end up grasping like, hey, I don't know if he lying or not, but I'm riding this roller coaster. Like, look, that's what I want. I want people to ride this roller coaster with me. You know, about to have 100% fun with this.
Wow. No. And you were born in January. What is your sign?
I'm an Aquarius. So for all the people that need to know, I am Aquarius. I love to take long walks on the beach. I ended up like the bowl, and I am a dart player at times. And my favorite thing to do is skate, rollerblading, you know, or correction, roller skating, because, you know, I am really fond and really good at that. So yeah, for us Aquariuses.
Well, your birth element is air, which air is all about movement, new beginnings. It's also about transitioning. So your tone, your inflection, Andre, is very much, and even what we see online, what I see online, you know how to move. Like, you're just ready for action. So here's what I got for you. Do you ever find time to just sit and be still, or is it realistic that maybe someone such as yourself, as an Aquarius air element, your sense of being still is still moving?
Me sitting is still moving. Because
Okay.
regardless, like I am a very, basically, I'm like a type of person that really believes in rest, and rest is training in my eyes, you know. Because it's like majority of the week, it's training. I'm always training, mentality always training, and if I'm not training, I'm with my child, and my child is basically the day, the end, and thinking of them during the middle of the day, so. But I always end up on the move. So when I am resting, like today, Wednesday is my rest day, and I'm not gonna lie, I already worked out. You feel it's supposed to be it's supposed to be my rest day, and I'm supposed to be like on this power cleanse of healing up, But my mindset, as in if I'm not working out, I'm thinking of techniques to end up doing, or the following days, and then since I have like a client base, that I'm thinking of what I'm going to end up showing them for the next day. So it's always on the go. So no matter how you look at it, it's always on the go. And if I'm not that, I'm watching like some type of action movie or love movies or some type of movie that ends up putting me in the mood to want to go do something.
What's your favorite love movie?
Love movie? Let me see.
I'm looking forward to this answer.
Okay, it is
Take your time.
Because I want to like classify it as more of a love movie. It's wait. It's going to be a brain fart, so we might have to end up coming back to it, and it's going to end up hitting me like in the middle of this like interview, and you're going to end up hearing me, and you're going to be like, oh, and I'll be like, yeah, that's what the movie is, because it's like following into. It starts with a D.
Do you have an idea who was in it?
The person that's in it, he played in Ocean, basically the Ocean movies, Ocean 11, Ocean
George
12.
Clooney?
Yeah, he played in it, George Clooney, and it starts with a D. It's like I don't want to call it delinquent, the urgent, but like so in the movie he ends up playing as a. All right, so I'm gonna end up breaking it down, and I know like someone might end up catching on to it, but it's not like it's a love movie, but not a love movie because it's more like him like trying to figure things out on his life. He's up in Hawaii. He owns the island. He has a whole bunch of family members that are basically trying to sell their part or the piece of an island. And he's basically the one that says yes or no to it. And he had a wife that ended up turning into ended up becoming like a vegetable into the movie. But she ended up doing that by like going on a boat ride by cheating on him, and ended up like crashing and basically went into a super coma and not able to move and everything, so straight vegetable. And he ended up realizing and catching on as the movie goes on, as he's getting cheated on and plus, and the kids, the mom or the little daughter already knew that he got cheated on, but for her, instead of her like speaking on it, it was she started to kind of like digest and rebel out for being a little teen, and it ended up opening up the door where everybody ended up grabbing and understanding, but the dad and the two kids actually got really close in the movie to the moment like it was amazing. And it was funny too, because I'm like the type of person, like if I end up going across movies and anything that ends up like sitting out or like blanking out or me blanking out, this was the movie. And then I just found myself like watching the whole thing, and then next you know it, I said, oh my gosh, this movie is like beyond awesome, but I just can't remember the name now. I just feel really bad. I feel really, really sad. Here's
what's beautiful about Google. I would have asked Alexa, but she would have gone on and on and on and on and on. 2011, is it The Descendants?
There we go. Descendant. I knew it started with a D, but look, that movie is beautiful. It's a gem. Like it's really a gem. Because it's one of those movies that you think like, oh, like love, people are supposed to fall in love, like, the husband and the wife and everything. But low key, like towards the end, he ended up basically falling back in love with the wife. Granted that, she's not talking, and, and it was basically about forgiveness in this movie. And the two daughters ended up forgiving the mom. The husband ended up forgiving, and then it kind of like went back to them like kind of like loving it, or him loving her, and then at the end he ended up pulling the plug. But hey, it's one of those type of things. But it was a good movie. It's like a really, really great movie.
You've got me interested. Today's going to be a very, very light day as well. My Thursdays usually are. I usually like to designate what I call date night with myself. I cook all the time anyway, but I'd like to designate at least one day a week to where like I just put all that time in love, and like I'll put the phone on mute, or sometimes I'll turn it off. I can't come to it most of the time, Andre, to turn my phone off, because I'm like, all right, what happens if the client calls? What's going on? But I will put it on mute, or I'll put it upstairs or another room to where I will, force myself to just be present. So I'm going to see if it's on Netflix or where it's streaming tonight, because I believe I may have seen it, but your intensity, passion about it has got me like, I need to watch this.
Yeah, so like that movie, I watched it 3 times. So to this day, it's like anybody ever asked me, like, yeah, you should watch this. It's amazing. Go there, drift into Wonderland with watching this. Yeah, grab your popcorn.
Sounds like a good self-date night movie to me.
Hey, I agree, 100%.
Seriously. Seriously. 2 things that I got from your passion sharing that with me. 1, it sounds like you're a problem solver or you like to solve problems, Andre. The other one is you're a code breaker. What do I mean by that is when you were sharing about how he was trying to figure things out and such, the movie Maze Runner kept coming to my mind. And I'm thinking you would be perfect for these type of movies, Insurgents and stuff like that. I would love to see your representatives or someone get you in a film.
See, now we're on the same thing, because I've been trying to get out here. Like, people just not, they ain't opening up the door. Like, granted, I was like, I even told him, like, I'll even play the dead body, like, you just put me on like the little counter and then just start talking. Granted, like, I'll probably, like, laugh. And I feel like if anybody ever sees me on a dead table, I think they'll start laughing.
Yeah, because it won't be realistic.
It won't be realistic. And I know they'll just start laughing, like, oh, it's like, it's just him on the table, right?
And then your future opponents are going to be thinking, all right, we found a weak spot.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, let him play dead. But no, and it's funny, like, Maze Runner is actually like a good movie to me. Like, I actually enjoy it, and you're right. I am 100% like one of those like puzzle people that even try to like digest something and trying to like cut it and honestly make that the right answer for it. So when it ends up coming down to the moment that I can't answer it, or I feel like I am not even coming close to the answer, it ends up like breaking me down, like, mentally type thing. And then it's like I'm thinking about it, and that kind of like jumps into like the whole like version of my first child, and that whole situation. Still to this day don't have the answer. And then granted, like, a lot of people are pushing me into the positive direction, like, oh, you're like a superstar now, you're a UFC fighter. To this day I still don't claim or feel like I am a superstar. Like, in my mind, like, I'm telling people that just treat me like the same and everything, like, it doesn't click to me, like, oh, you got the blue check, and I'm like, okay, kind of like walk off. But like, granted, on the situation, like I stated, from that, still haven't got the answer. So I'm like trying to figure it out. And I feel like in time, and that's always like preaching to like my, to my students and everything, or anybody I end up chopping up to, or whoever ends up asking for advice, is just take it day by day. At the end of the day, that's all you can do. You have to take it day by day. To automatically make what you want to do in the future, you got to take it day by day, So, yeah.
Even though I don't know a lot about your past, one of the things, Andre, that stood out to me the most was a video that was posted on June 3rd on your Instagram. And it had nothing to do with playing the video. It was just a still of you there with your fist up, ready to go, ready to spar. And it was in your eyes that what I see is a man who looks 21, has the spirit of a 16 to 18-year-old, but yet an inner maturity and guidance of a sophisticated gentleman. And I believe from just certain moments when you allow yourself to be transparent, and I'm assuming when you least expect it, because usually that's when we all find our way, when we step forward from ourselves to allow people to see who we are, because we're so in the zone or feel comfortable or we're in what we love. there's a balance in you. And I believe you're ageless. And I truly believe that, and what I encourage your team to do is to allow you to give and gift you the opportunity to express your greatness in addition with being the people's choice, with your skills and ability in the MMA. And then for the fact that, you know, you've got a lot to offer here. And I think it's more than just a cliche influencer or entrepreneur. There really is a leadership about you. And it's referenced many times, and you do it in such subtle ways, even just from a simple recent post just recently when you were showing your supplements. There really is a generosity about you. And I'm just saying that I don't know if it's really being utilized and touched upon as often as it should be.
I'm with that. And too, I appreciate everything you just got done saying. I really do. You know, and it's like one of those like side where, you know, like I end up sitting, like I don't always hear things like that. Like, you know, like granted you hear, oh yeah, he's a good person, or oh this and that, but no one jumps in like the full detail. It's kind of like, you know, when those people that constantly keep giving out advice, giving out the best advice, and then, you know, and no one really realized like the person that gives out the best advice low-key needs the best advice, you know, and even if it's just a small hug, that's great advice right now. Like, you know, so I end up appreciating that.
You're welcome. Honestly, you're very welcome. And that's why we're here. It's because I see that within you, and I believe you know it yourself, and you just deserve the opportunity to take it upon yourself to ask, to make the initiative, or just go out and make it happen for yourself. Because I really would want to see you on TV a lot more, or to see you in a film, maybe an up and coming, you know, future Top Gun or Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise or something. Like you've got that theater, that performance about you, that dance. And I believe that you didn't choose MMA chose you, because you knew how to bring all those facets of what it means of being personable, personality, but you've got to have a specific dance within MMA. And I'm a huge fan. A lot of people are surprised, Andre, and really don't know how much of a huge fan I am with boxing and MMA. I grew up with it. My family members, my grandfather was into it. My dad was into it. Muhammad Ali and a lot of other famous, well-known, well-established people, all the way down to Andre, you know, the Giant in WWF. Like, I just grew up in that environment. And what I had learned is, even though it wasn't a direction that I felt that I belong in, what I could do was relate to the fact that there are two main aspects when it comes to sports, especially of what I see with MMA, boxing, and, you know, even if someone's getting into WWF, even though that's a whole different spectrum of you know, that's entertainment sport. This is real sport. With that being said, is you need to have a sense of integrity. No matter what's being said before a fight or after a fight, you have to have a sense of integrity. And then you also have to be humble. And the reason why is you're always positioning yourself, Andre, or your team's positioning yourself to remind you that you are human, to remind you that you do have strengths and where you need to and should focus those strengths. But most importantly, and I don't call them weaknesses, I'm going to say the transparencies to what may be interpreted as vulnerabilities will always make themselves known, so you don't stay complacent. That's why I love MMA and boxing so much.
Ain't that the truth? And especially when you ended up saying like before you, basically how you carry yourself before you walk into the cage, and then after the fight, after the, you know, the whole nine. I'm a true believer on that. It comes down as in respect, regardless of the situation. You should automatically respect the other person that's on the other side, or people that just honestly just walk into it, you know? Because like, granted, like you end up seeing like a lot of fighters that end up going into those like moments where they get a bad call or something ends up happening that they don't end up shaking their opponent's hand, and it kind of comes off like full disrespect. And the thing is, it is disrespectful because it's like we just got done sharing the octagon. Like any of us could have ended up dying, or any of us could have ended up becoming seriously wounded / damaged, you know. And to that moment, for us not to be able to shake hands on that or hug out on that, that's just, you know, just like mind blowing. Like really boggling. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's like a lot of people that I probably like dislike. Or I don't even say dislike. Actually, I'm gonna go with the word, the strong word. Like I might dislike at the moment, but if we ended up sharing the cage, it's kind of like we'll get that frustration out, and then it comes down to that moment that, hey, we shake hands because we let it, you know, kind of like let it all out into this cage, and this is the whole reason why we ended up doing it, you know, or ends up turning into that direction. But also going back to what you end up stating, I'm like, you know, I feel like I should be in like a film. I'm thinking like Hobbs and Shaw might be like a stunt double, but a stunt double of Dwayne Johnson, or even Shaw. Like, you know, I think I could end up pulling off some stuff to the moment where I get my own little screen time of my face, you know, my face and my smile. Just simply say. So yeah, we're off on that.
Hey, you can reiterate the reference all you want, anytime you want. You know, I don't feel that you're over convincing. You just know what's fact, and either people get it or they don't.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not your 100%. Problem whether they get it or not. Right?
Yep. No, 100%. I agree. Definitely agree.
You still stationed out there in California?
That I am. Riverside. Gym that I end up training at is Carlson Gracie. Amazing spot. Got an amazing coach staff. I have my Muay Thai coach, Tony Gio. My Jits coach, Sean Ruiz, based off of a second-degree black belt from Carlson Gracie. Owner, Merle Miller, which is still one of the most interesting and awesome names to say. Merle Miller, you know. So this is dead. But yeah, we got a good staff, and you got myself that ends up once in a while taking over of the striking, or run like my own little fight program for people, you know. But always leave the door open. So for anybody that ends up here, and come. If you're in town, come. Regardless of the situation, doors open. Show love, and we'll give it back those same love. But yeah, definitely in Riverside, where the palm trees and the beaches are about 45 minutes away. Yeah, it's amazing out here.
Wow. Even during the pandemic right now, you're still making your way out and about and getting to the ocean, or?
I haven't been into the ocean, just the fact that I know I have come back or be around my son. So it's like one of those, like I might be immune to it, but I'm not sure about him. So it's like I'm picking and choosing where I'm going and where I'm not doing, and stuff like that. Yeah. So trying to keep it simple until everything is done and over with.
When the prospective match happens, is it going to be closed? Are there going to be a few fans there? How is this going to lay itself out in August?
In August, I'm hoping that there's going to be a few fans, because I want to go to the Abu Dhabi. And I know from watching it from last week, and I know the fights are coming on later on today, that they have a few spectators that's up there. And right now, as long as I know, if I have my my team, my brother, my cousin, that I'm going to be 100% great. It's all about being comfortable. And, you know, granted that I do love when fans are there, you know, because when fans is there, it ends up, like I said, you get a different side of me where I want to put on a show for them. And that's just how I always been. I want to be a crowd pleaser, hands down. But I think with the no fans, people might end up seeing the other side of me, where it's just going to be more finishes, and that's what I'm going to end up doing, finishing all my fights and completing all my fights. So they're going to kind of get like a different sway or a different Andre in the cage, you know. But it's still going to be exciting, but a different aspect of the situation is me, you know, because like majority of the people that are all known, like known prospects, they all went through the whole MMA show. Like, you know, they went through the Dana White show, the Tough show, and stuff like that. And me, I literally came from ground zero about 4 years ago and said, hey, I'm about to jump up in this cage. Granted that I had a boxing career type thing, didn't go well. And then, I ended up quitting everything because I wanted to be my son's life, Eli. And stuff ended up happening. Someone looked at me with no value as a judge. And my mindset was, hey, let me go ahead and grab that value that I need so people don't ever look at me like that again. And granted, 2 years down the line, or 2.5 years down the line, I'm in the UFC. And not only that, people don't ever look at me with no value. They always look up at me as in, dang, this person came from somewhere, or dang, I want to know where he came from. Now people are asking about me, asking what they want to know about me. What pushed you? Maybe me and him have the similar stories. And it's funny that a lot of people had similar stories, or at least from the beginning, and they're trying to get where I'm at or get where they're just end up doing in general. Like I literally have a student that ended up breaking down a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and became a psycho doctor right at the moment. So it's like, and that's one of my students, and I get to go ahead and say, hey, she did this, So, and not only that, she's very fearsome and really hits really hard with the mitts, and ready to end up moving and sparring any guy in the world. So she gets 100% points in my books.
That's a huge testimony. Huge.
And that's where I'm like 100% pushing on. So it's like just what I end up stating. It's like I know roads can end up leading in different directions, and it comes down to for people just to figure out what direction is suited for them. And that's I always say, anybody that you end up bringing in your life all has their own agenda. The question is does their agenda match up with yours? And if it does, 9 times out of 10, you guys automatically click. And it ends up pushing and helping both of y'all go or get to where you want to get to. So yeah,
it's awesome. Honestly, it's like that is a true testimony. And how many people get to say that, right?
That's true. That really is true.
What's the number one lesson you've ever learned in your life that you believe has set the stage to prepare you to be UFC People's Choice?
Have fun. Definitely have fun. That's something I had to end up learning. I want to say the hard way, because I was like a serious set mind type person, or more like relaxed on a lot of things, but it just comes down to whatever you end up doing and you end up love what you're doing, it becomes fun. Because I literally, another added question or added response. I was talking to somebody, and they're like telling me what they do, and it's literally ended up selling insurance, and soon as he got the word insurance, it followed right behind it. I love what I do, and then I was like, it's not even like mind blowing. It's just one of those. It brought a smile to my face, because it's like, that's what it's all about. As long as you love what you're doing. Like, granted, I had another student that was really, really, really basically had a lot of potential to honestly basically do the fight game. Pure wrestling, learn striking from me. The kid had automatically a super future. But it was still like something missing. And the missing part was him having fun about it. But now he ends up selling or not selling, but doing like this Forex situation where it ends up helping people learn how to invest and investing in things. And he must, because he ended up disappearing from me, and he randomly gave me a message like a week ago telling me like, hey, I felt like I owe you an apology, because I was there, but there was no love for it. And as soon as he ended up saying that, I was telling you, I was like, I know there was something missing, and that's what it was missing. He didn't love it. Granted that he was really good, he just didn't love it. But now he's doing something that he loved, and he's having fun. And that was something that I always ended up teaching and preaching. It's like, if this is what you want, you got to end up loving it, and then that turns into fun. And as long as you end up having fun, and it becomes the effect is you're relaxing, it's not a job to you, then you're automatically sharing something, because when other people walk in, they're automatically feeding, or they're automatically getting knowledge from you. They're automatically doing their homework, and not only that, you're teaching someone something. When people end up looking at me or see me fight, first thing comes out of their mouth, it looks like you're just out there having fun. Because in reality, I am. I'm doing something that I honestly love, and I know that I'm really great at. Granted that it took me time to get to where I was at, but I'm doing something that I'm great, and it shows the value, and basically the value ends up getting shown as how hard that I'm smiling when a camera or me get to talk about it. So yeah, definitely do what you love, and that turns into fun. So have fun what you're doing.
To bounce off of that, everyone knows that tattoos have a purpose. If I were to stand in front of you right now and to look at the story, the message that is on your body, what would be the most powerful yet subtle message of what tattoo that you are wearing, and what would it tell me?
For anything with all my tattoos, granted, like even the one that's on my chest, it says Yahweh in Hebrew. It just ends up opening it up of light. Like I can go ahead and say light, because granted, like majority of my tattoos have been like cover-ups, and like I stated, I went through like a full change, and it was a downtime. And when I say downtime, I was thinking of basically like killing myself type of downside. And I know that's like frowned upon, but that's where the stage I was at just factors in me trying to do everything I can to be in my son's life, and constantly kept getting denied. And it was a dark world for me, like really dark. And something that ended up picking up was that ended up changing my mindset and just me in general was basically Buddhism. And I was studying it, because I'm a person that likes to end up doing homework and dibble dab on a lot of things of answers and stuff like that. And basically a smile, happiness, positive energy, sending nothing but positive energy, and anything that you place positive on, that you'll get positive feedback, and that turned everything around, where tattoos was basically like my answer or escaping from pain. And then it just turned out as all my tattoos started to build its own story, and it ended up building something that ended up flowing into like the Japanese type style, or traditional type style, or the new school traditional type style, because I feel like in a past life I was a samurai, with an afro though, afro samurai. But yeah, so it kind of like granted into that, like what I'm doing. It's like I'm a warrior. No matter how I end up looking at it, inside the cage, outside the cage, anything that I end up doing. Growing up, as soon as I was born, everything was automatically bred for me to constantly keep fighting. We didn't have a lot of stuff growing up, and I fought for everything. I sat there and watched my mom fight for everything. I sat there and saw my pops basically fight for everything, like type thing, like granted that a lot of moving, everything that ends up happening in our life, it wasn't the best. I had to end up being adult by watching, or adult at a young child age, for watching my, my little brother and sister type thing. It just ended up opening up the door that you end up seeing answers. I was a warrior, always a warrior that was always open to protect, So all the tattoos with good fortune, with a little bit of the sides of my bad side, of a demon side. If you look at it, like everybody has two sides, it's the side that you feed more on. And right now it's all nothing but positive, or on the positive energy that I'm feeding on,
I take it you definitely, there's no way you've got regrets. Is that what I'm hearing?
No regrets. No regrets. It's automatic. Like I said, it's all positive stuff to automatically push forward. Constantly got to keep faith, and like I always say, my first son is faith, and my second son is hope. Because first one is faith of me. He's the one that kept me attached, kept me as in one. Kept me with the whole faith in just in general. And then got hope, where I'm like hoping things don't end up going bad, so I'm working my butt off to make sure it doesn't go bad, and I'm actually stay there with a smile, because my boy is bringing me hope, as in things are easily and able to be changed. So it's like little small things like that.
Are you at peace knowing that you've got so many riches and richness in your life with who you are and the blessings of your children and your career and your health. And once again, you look like a 21-year-old. You look like you're like, even with a vibe like, okay, I'm 18. I'm ready to get out there in the world. I'm not waiting any longer. Is that what continues to inspire you and to help you stay faithful and loyal to what your heart tells you, that you are safe and you've got many blessings to look forward to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everything that you just said, it's 100% on my mind. Like, so me waking up, like, granted, if I'm feeling sad or not, I end up working myself off to automatically be back to me smiling, and maybe able to push that same energy to other people, because you never know who's looking. And right now, I know my son is looking, and right now I'm getting to that moment where my first son will be looking, so I got to build something for the chance when everything ends up turning into the right direction with that he ends up seeing that I was the one that was always fighting for him, and I was still fighting for him. So everything that I do in the mornings or the days to come, it's automatically just to push off nothing but positive energy, so everybody can end up seeing that anything is possible and anything can honestly be done, So yeah, definitely 100% grateful for everything. So it's all smiles on my end.
Two things. One, for those who are struggling with anxiety, fear, depression, thoughts of wanting to give up on life, give up on themselves, what would you have to say to them?
What I have to say is turn it around. Turn it around, because someone's always looking up to you. And then even if you don't feel like someone's watching or looking up to you, just turn it around. Like, positive, be positive, stay positive. And I've been there, and trust and believe, it's not the greatest feeling. There's always someone that's watching that ends up becoming hurt on the situation. Even granted that some people feel like, no one really cares. Someone does. Someone always does. It's just granted that just needed a hug, and that could end up changing your mind. So automatically keep fighting. Don't give up on the hope. Keep fighting.
And if you're not feeling, and honestly, this is why you're UFC people's choice. Look for a role model. Just like with the woman that you helped, who you taught, look for a role model. Right? You're a role model.
Right. Definitely. And I always end up stating and even with the role model, aim to be better. Always aim to be better. Because I had my role model was Bruce Lee type thing. And it turned into the moment where not only that I looked up to him, that I was aiming to be better. Because, he ended up giving out nothing but positive stuff. And he spread that energy into the world. And granted, I even got to speak at one of his old studios. So it made me one of those happy, because I'm accomplishing things, and it brought out nothing but smiles. So yeah, and end up be better where you're able to end up sharing that same platform as them. So whoever your role model is, and be better.
2, for those who believe that they have everything and have what seems to be no worries in the world, do you have any advice for them?
Those are the best ones, because it's fact is, anything and everything can be taken. No matter how hard you ended up taking, or how hard it took you to get it, it can easily be taken. And prime example, my son, I did everything, I was happy with him, and I thought nothing could end up getting taken away from him. It ended up happening, and that was my world that got crushed. And luckily I got resurrected on something from a person just looked down on me. But anything and everything can get taken. So just automatically cherish the moments that you have. And obviously work your butt off to constantly keep it. But just have that moment. If it does, you automatically know by you just cherishing it just alone, it ends up placing you in a different world and different stage of where if you get lost, you're able to work back to get it back, or to work your butt off to get back what you ended up losing. So yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts, nothing but positive energy, people. end up sitting it out there. And then remember this. Just remember this. When my shirt is tucked in, I am DC, a.k.a. Daniel Cormier. And when the shirt is off, I am The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. But when I'm in the cage, it's just me, Andre. I missed to highlight Ewell. Granted that I like to go by Mr. Dragonfist, Kapow. But nothing but love to everybody.
I'm writing that down, Mr. Dragonfist. Dragonfist, I like that.
Yeah, so Andre Dragonfist shoe, I love it. Thank you. Both.
I've got to come to one of your matches, and I did let Matthew Dodge know. Please let me know. Let me, if I can, with whoever's permission, get a media pass. I will bring my camera. I want to get some great shots, and definitely would like to support you and your team.
Oh, I would truly appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. And shout out to automatically the Dodge Sports, Matt and Joey. So, they've been putting on like freaking amazing stuff and making sure everybody into this managing group that everybody's getting nothing but love and opportunity.
I'm impressed by Matthew. It's been a real joy communicating with him and being able to get to this moment with you. What I really respect about him is how he goes beyond himself and his company. He really thinks of his talent and you as a professional. And I hope more people who are representatives out there remember it's not about them, it's about your client. Because without your client, there would be no you.
Ain't that the truth? Mm-hmm. And I always push that. I always end up pushing that, like, hey, fighters, and this is going for everybody that's like honestly hearing. For fighters, you are a cake. No matter how you look at it, you can say a chocolate cake, strawberry cake, cake with frosting and everything. I was like, the managers are the candles. Like, no birthday cake is not complete without the candles. And the managing group is, or as a manager for me, will be my candles. That's what that is. It completes you. Basically completes the cake, and how Matt is, he ends up showing nothing but love, and he gives out love. And granted, I know where he gets it from. He gets it from his daddy, because dad is freaking awesome. His dad is awesome. Mr. Dodge is Senior Dad is freaking awesome. Doug, like, he's an amazing person. Just meeting him, and then you kind of end up seeing where the love comes from, and it's not automatically like, it's like one of those things, like it wasn't taught, it's just he was born with it, and he was born, and his father ended up passing that down, and straight love to both of them, to the Dodge family, period.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to getting to know them as well, with their opportunity of gifting me the permission to do so. And are there any additional shout outs you would like to give, Andre, before we close?
Oh, yeah. Shout outs to Health and Body Nutrition, Biotech, and my favorite one that's automatically pushing me and keeping me honestly flowing and looking good at the same time, Dynasty MMA. The clothing line is amazing. Make sure you guys end up jumping on it. I have like all the links on my page. They're amazing. And obviously my YouTube channel, make sure everybody follows it. Andre Ewell, subscribe, make that happen. And end up passing off like techniques like twice out of the month or whatnot, with a little bit of funny clips towards the end to make everybody laugh. But yeah, nothing but shout outs to all that.
Isn't it Dynasty MMA?
Dynasty MMA.
Let's see here. So their website is www.dynastyclothingstore.com. DYNASTYCLOTHINGSTORE. Dynastystore.com. I'm liking the shorts.
Oh, the shorts are amazing.
They're bright and colorful.
Bright and colorful. My favorite ones are always the yellow and black.
I was going to say the yellow.
Yeah, those are like super amazing, but they're amazing with shirts, amazing with just the clothing line, just period, for outwear and gym wear. And then, so you just mash them all together. It's amazing.
They got some high-end designs here. I'm impressed with the designs.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you. And then they're supposed to have some new stuff coming out soon, which I'm like looking forward to it. So I can go ahead and rock and promote with a smile.
Well, once this gets posted over to Spotify, I'll send you the link and you can send it to them. Let them know that they got a good drop on here on Power 98.5 live on air with Stephen Cuoco. But yeah, and the prices are reasonable, like especially with the quality that I'm seeing here, and I'm not even wearing it. Like you got to be getting your money's worth.
Oh, definitely. It's like my favorite. I'm telling you, it's like my favorite go-to. To be honest, I'm like nothing but fitted into the situation with shirts. Like I said, streetwear, everything you can possibly think of, and it's automatically shared with love. Like they're circling and trying to basically day by day, it's getting big and blossoming out even more.
I'm going to say to you, especially for your children, baby June, just know as long as you are doing your best by being the greatest of who you are. You don't need to be the greatest, Andre. You already are. Just by doing your best, you're very welcome. You're going to leave the legacy that you want for your fans and for people that are going to need and want to hear your story whenever in the future, but most importantly for what you are building for your family right now. So you're safe. Whatever pressure you have, put it in the ring, put it in your training, but just know that when you are home, when you're with yourself, when you're alone, when you're with your children, that is a time to really, really sit within yourself. And I understand Buddhism. Sit within yourself. And allow yourself to feel whatever that truth is that you're feeling. And know that whatever you learned and everything that was important for you to learn, even though it probably was the most uncomfortable and something you wouldn't wish even on your worst enemy, I'm sure, it led you to be where you are today, which says there were no mistakes in your life. And you already said that, like, you don't regret anything. But it proves there are no and have been no mistakes in your life.
That's true. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. And like I said, hearing wise words, it's needed. And, and again, thank you for honestly having me and giving me the platform and the opportunity to be able to speak my story and speak my mind without judgment. Bam.
Oh, you got that right. It was a big bam. The wall doesn't exist anymore. You came in like The Rock. We both came in like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Heck yeah.
You were flying the helicopter. Someone was flying the helicopter. Both of us went down on the line, and we just, wrecking ball,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Stay on the line. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Once again, you're listening to Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, live on air with Stephen Cuoco with my special guest, UFC People's Champ. And I'm going to also add UFC's People's Choice, because there was a choice by choosing you to be a champ. Andre Ewell, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you this. Please let Matthew know, and I don't mind following up with him. When your match comes up, let's get an interview in, either pre-match, post-match. Like, I really want to get this on air, and I know the listeners are going to want to hear it as well. And this will go immediately over to Spotify, so people can find it there. It's on, Google Play. But this episode will air next week. I will send both you and Matthew the specific date. I believe it's going to be Wednesday at 8 a.m. This interview is going to be on. But just know it's going to be immediately on Spotify. I'll send you guys the link, and you'll have all that information. But just know there's no door here. There's nothing. You're more than welcome to be a guest anytime.
Oh, I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you again for having me. Yeah, man, I can't wait, and I'll make sure to honestly pass that message. And I already know how Matt is. He's going to end up reaching out to you just to say thank you. So, end up also bringing up that speaking upon the opportunity of coming back. So, definitely,
I hope so, and I hope I'm invited to a VIP party, and I like champagne or vodka and cranberry, so I want to party with you guys.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I'll make sure you have your own bottle of cranberry and everything all over there.
Thank you.
Give some boys too. All right, man. Thank you again.
Thank you. UFC's People's Champ, Andre Ewell, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5.
On your socials and let's connect.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.